All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are well today. What we got going on this morning? What's up, Radical, Bao, Faye, Martin, Igor, Danny, Bob, Joseph? What's up, chat? Good morning. Good morning. All right, so again, it's still a boring week. We don't really have much going on this week. It's kind of boring. We are going to be day trading this morning some, and I'm probably going to be like, you can kind of see what I have up on the screen here, which is like, I'm building this indicator. This one's called the 5-minute monster, and the reason I call it the 5-minute monster is because look at the accuracy of this thing, man. Hey, look, this one worked, 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 this one, I still think this one worked too. If you zoom into the candle, it shows up at this candle, and then look at the breakdown. This one definitely worked too, look at that. This one definitely worked too, look at that. This one definitely worked, look at that. This is why I call it the 5-minute monster, because look at this. This one worked, look at that. This one worked, look at that. Like, if you really look at the accuracy of it, how many of these have been wrong, chat, in the last few minutes? So, interesting. Here's the SPY. SPY's still sitting at 580s, you know, nvda at 130s. So nvda pulled back heavy yesterday too. Nice job yesterday on Top Step. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah. I mean, look. That just wasn't a normal time that I trade. You know? I don't think my original trade idea where I said I would buy it and sell it at 20.38 or 380 on the NASDAQ was correct. It went exactly up to that level. Good or bad news, Bitcoin seems to be going up. What's up, Radical? Burge, Mellow, Doctor. What are you saying, Doctor? Gold? Any book that you recommend regarding trading? So you're not going to understand strategy unless we're talking about longer term investing with books, right? Like, I think the media form that you want to learn trading on is not books necessarily. I think you can learn investing and like business in book form, but I don't think you can really learn trading in book form. Yeah, Trading in the Zone. There's a couple like Millionaire Traders is good. There's a couple different good ones. What's up, Dr. Crypto? What's up, man? What's up, Faye? What's up, Arif? Beach Bum? What's up, man? Yeah, 100% mellow. Yeah, it was the slowest part of the day, the choppiest part of the day, which is all right, you know. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. I was trying to, you know, talk. Top Step TV has gotten so huge, right? Like, I know I mostly cover like economic data and investing stuff and like some day trading, but you can kind of see the futures audience is absolutely huge, man. You know, again, I'm going to continue to cover economic reports and stuff like I always do, but man, what a big audience. And Top Step has done a great job at growing that channel, man. That's a huge channel now. Yeah, Market Wizards, Jack Schwager, pretty good books, you know. So earnings this morning, we did have a couple earnings report. We had Abbott, we had US Bank, we had Citizens, Synchrony, Prologis, First Horizon. But again, nothing really big, man. We don't really have much going on right now. Like, we got Netflix earnings Thursday evening. You know, tomorrow we got TSM earnings. That's kind of big. But it's kind of boring, man. We don't really have much. We got Amex, Comerica, Procter & Gamble. It's been this is probably the weirdest month I've experienced in a year. And the month is strange because, like, if you look at like Market Watch as an example, right? If you take a look at Market Watch as an example, right? Like, generally speaking, we've got something going on. And tomorrow we got retail sales, jobless claims, Philly Fed Index, industrial production, capacity utilization, business inventories, and home builder confidence. So tomorrow is pretty busy in terms of economic reports. But next week is slow as well, which is very strange, right? Like, next week is slow. Nothing really going on next week either, outside of earnings. Now, it is earnings season, so we do have some stuff going on next week, right? So, like, next week we'll have Tesla earnings specifically. So Tesla earnings are next week. But the week after this is going to be so busy. I'm looking at next week's earnings. Boeing. We got Boeing earnings Wednesday morning. So we got some stuff going on. But like, yeah. Tesla earnings on Wednesday, next Wednesday. But outside of that, like, we got Tesla earnings. I don't think we have anything else big either. Like, so it's Tesla earnings and that's basically it next week, which is strange. Like, this is 2 very slow weeks. And then the week after this, right, the week of the 28th is packed. So the week of the 28th, again, we got PCE data. We got core PCE data. We've got GDP data. We got prelim non-farm payrolls on Wednesday. We got actual non-farm payrolls on Friday. We got unemployment data on Friday. So the week of the it's very strange in terms of economic data. Very slow couple week period followed by a very busy week. And I don't know if it's just people are waiting for I don't know if just people are waiting for the election to happen, and so maybe that's influencing how people trade. Yeah, and we'll be day trading on Top Step sometime soon here. Yeah, just kind of like my thing is telling people, hey, I'm not an expert, like, you know. Very sideways range on the NASDAQ, though. They were also showing me a 30-second chart yesterday. They're on Top Step. I don't know if I could ever trade on one of them freaking things, though. Yeah, just understand, guys. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. You always got to make your own assessment, trade responsibly. We're going to cover the market news in a minute here. In a second, we're going to cover the big market news of the day. So stick around. We'll see what we get. Kind of a choppy sideways neutral range going on right now. I don't really see much. So ASML dropped $5 billion off their 2025 sales guidance. Pretty early part of the day right now. Not much going on. SPY dipping down a little bit. Volume very light. AMD and nvda still very choppy and sideways, kind of a neutral range. Yeah, so I'm looking up the big stock market stories of the day. So today, the U.S. stock market stories include ongoing strength in tech. Major indexes like S&P, NASDAQ are seeing gains this morning. NVIDIA and other tech companies continue to push the indexes higher, driven by strong earnings expectations, and Treasury yields remain elevated, contributing to some investor caution, but stocks have generally weathered this challenge well. Major banks like JP Morgan, Wells Fargo have reported stronger earnings. boosting financial stocks. Companies like Uber also surged with positive sentiment about ride-sharing prospects. And so that is the news this morning, chat. Yeah, we're kind of sitting tight, just kind of waiting for some better prospects and stuff. You know, we're in a little bit of a trade now. See if we can get a good fill. Yeah, we just locked in a little bit. All right, so yeah, we just locked in a little bit more. Took a little bit of profit. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I got this big old banner blocking everything. My bad, chat. At what point would you bring your stop loss up to entry level in a VWAP bounce trade? I would give it like, okay, so see if I can find an example of a VWAP bounce. Market broke down yesterday. The fade worked. Look, so here's a good VWAP bounce. And VWAP bounce is still a powerful system, honestly. There it is right there. So I think once you get up here, like once you look at recent support levels like this, once you get up above those levels, you can bring your stop down to the VWAP level if you're entering around VWAP, right? That way, if it breaks down, you get out. But if it continues to push up, you take advantage of it. Is probably what I would do. But every trade's different. It depends on the support and resistance areas around it. Yeah. What's the next U.S. rate decision? When is the next? It's November 7th. So the next rate decision is November 7th. Right now, the odds are overwhelmingly at 93% for a rate cut of 25 basis points. So now 93% of people expecting us to cut 25 basis points. This would be a pause. Right? So 7.2% chance of a pause. 93% chance of a 25 basis point cut is what we're seeing right now. So a pretty big chance of a cut so far. Now this is subject to change. Like this might swing back and forth leading up to this report. If you want to see what we're actually going to do, just follow it. Yep, that's going to be a crazy week in all honesty. Is my music too loud? My bad, chat. There we go. All good, Lewis. No worries, man. Again, I'm not an investment professional, not liable if you lose. Yeah, so a lot of quarterly earnings coming out. That'll be big. Today we have the import-export price data. We got the import and export price data. We also have Lagarde speaking today. Again, today's kind of another boring day. We don't really have much going on. Oh, wait. Yeah, so tomorrow we got like the ECB decision retail sales data. And then I'm looking at Friday. Again, it's such a weird time right now because we don't really have any... I'm asking, why are all the major economic reports at the end of this month instead of spread out? Oh, I got the hiccup. Yeah. All right, Tesla back up to 221 still. Yeah, so they're using, people use ChatGPT every day for help with writing and code. Although the chat interface is easy to use, Canvas ChatGPT can better understand the context of what you're trying to accomplish. Yeah, this is where AI has gotten really, really good. Wow, so with new chat GPT, you can actually specify where in the code you want to add stuff. That's cool. Yeah, the election on the 5th, rate decision on the 7th. Interesting. What do you think NVIDIA would all back to 110? I don't know. I think that would take some volatility in markets overall. You know, I'm not saying that can't happen. I just think that if it did, it would take some volatility in markets overall to happen. Like, we would need some type of pressure from other stocks outside of NVIDIA. But again, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Like, it certainly could happen. We would need some pressure either way. So gold. Yeah, I'm watching markets. Market's very flat, man. If we look at like NQ futures, NQ futures are very, 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 very choppy. They're trying to bounce, but very, very choppy for NQ futures. Very sideways range. We're watching like NVIDIA also, see what it can do. Yeah, here's some people talking about DRUG. I don't know much about it. It's not really a symbol I target. I don't like biotech companies like that. You know. Yeah, I'll put my trades up on screen. Here's my micro NASDAQ position. We're going to try to day trade some of this. Look at NVIDIA come down. Yeah, it's just not really. I'm assuming this is news related, right? Let me check. Abbott Laboratories posted earnings. Can y'all hear the music now? Yeah, so biotech, circuit breaker. It looks like a squeeze, like some type of pump. There's no real news behind it. Is there any reason why? Let me ask AI. This is where AI can be really good. ASML dropped chips yesterday. Yeah, so drug representing Bright Minds surged up over 1,400% recently. The major driver behind it is its progress in clinical trials, particularly the phase 2 trial for BMB 101, a highly selective 5-HT2C agonist designed to treat drug-resistant epilepsy and potentially other conditions. Its optimism for future fueled by positive prelim results for these trials, as well as the company's participation in scientific conferences to showcase developments. Investor sentiment remained positive, contributing to the stock's big rise. So yeah, it's up on good trial results, although these can be very volatile, so y'all just be careful. Y'all just be careful. I'm also looking at a couple different things. I gotta just wait. Let me fix myself here. Hey, what's up, A Plus Trader? Bitcoin scheduled to bypass the moon. Yeah. Good morning, John. I hear you. Yeah, how's the sound? Like, can you hear the music? Is what I'm wanting to know. Yeah. Maybe it's just on my end. I turned the sound down. Drug part of PSIL ETF psychedelics. Bro, when I go on Top Step TV, I love my wife, right? But she has the worst timing for literally everything. Like, she knew I was going on a show, and my wife shows up like mid Top Step TV episode, coming in the door trying to talk to me, wanting me to like mute it. And I'm like, hey, go away. I'm like trying to shoo her off without saying anything, like, and then like, ugh. Kara, worst timing ever. I'm sitting there like, baby, go away. Like, get out of here, you know? Shoo, Carol, get out of here. But yeah, she means well. She's just got terrible timing. Yeah, no, we don't have any big. We have import-export data is all we have today. It's a very slow couple weeks, man. It's probably the slowest 2 weeks of the year in terms of economic reports. We just don't have much going on. Like, we'll cover the import-export data, but there's just not much going on. It's boring, right? I'm kind of disappointed about it. Like, I don't know what to do with myself with no economic reports. Like, tomorrow we've got some stuff. Tomorrow we've got retail sales, jobless claims, durable goods, the ECB rate decision, and all that stuff. So we got some stuff going on tomorrow. But the rest of the week and the rest of next week really is very slow outside of, like, Tesla earnings. Yeah, tomorrow we got jobless claims, Philly Fed index. Or no, durable goods, not the Philly Fed. Tomorrow we got jobless claims, durable goods. The big one tomorrow is actually retail sales data. So retail sales data will be interesting. Yeah, so we got retail sales data. That'll be good tomorrow. We'll see what happens there. Guys, good morning, good morning. Let me do a poll here. I don't think I've done a poll yet today. So the question, does the market break highs again before November? Voting the poll. Honestly, we're so flat right now. You can see how flat it is. Yeah, the ECB European rate decision happens. Yeah, so I'm waiting here for something. Market's actually moving up a little bit. That doesn't look bad. I got Nvidia up there. We're looking at AMD as well. Again, the big story for next week is Tesla earnings next Wednesday. So we're at 221s for Tesla. We'll see if we hold there. Is Morgan Stanley earnings this morning? Did I just miss that? Let me see. We did have Morgan Stanley earnings this morning. I completely missed that. My bad, guys. Let me see. So Morgan Stanley posted 188 beat 158 estimate. Sales beat expectations as well. Let's put Morgan Stanley up here. There's Tesla. There's Morgan Stanley. Gap it up a little bit. I'll put the numbers up on screen so you can see it. This is Morgan Stanley data. You see it all right there. Good morning, John. No relevant data coming in today. 30 minutes, or did I miss something? Yeah, I mean, it's nothing super relevant. Like, we got import-export data, but it's pretty small. Tomorrow's the only big data report this week. Tomorrow's the only big data report this week and next week, so it's actually kind of slow in terms of reports. Not a lot. Pump, yeah. Netflix at TSMC tomorrow. Yeah, so we got Netflix tomorrow evening is when it is. So tomorrow evening we have Netflix. We also got Taiwan Semiconductors, TSM. We've got Netflix. We've got M&T Bank, Truist, Nokia, KeyCorp, Infosys, Blackstone, Huntington Bank, Netflix, WD-40, a couple other stuff, but it's pretty small, to be honest, like I said, man. So yeah, we got some other news. Lithium America says GM boosts investment, buys stake in a Nevada lithium project. I'm curious about the price of lithium over time and what that looks like. I literally have to mute this music. Yeah, I know there's some songs on this list that aren't good. Let me find it. Here it is. All right, we're good. What about USB earnings? What about it? Let me see. So USB, US Bank, they posted 103 EPS, beat 99 cents expected, 6.864 billion in sales, missed the expected number. So here's USB right here. Or no, there's Morgan Stanley. Here's US. Here's US Bank right here. Yeah, so TSMC. So are you talking about Taiwan Semiconductors? TSM symbol? Jan or Yan? Yeah, that's a big one. That's an important one for sure. And that is tomorrow morning. Looking at our poll number, 72% think we're going to break highs again before November. 30% think we don't. Yeah. All right, so all right, guys. So yeah, so I'm building something. Anything else you guys want me to talk about today? Let me see. Yeah, I gotta change the song. These songs are not terrible, but they're not great either. They're just there we go. Gotta get out of there. It's too much. Chat, it's too much. All right, so all right, so we did get a breakdown. I might start to buy this dip in the micro NASDAQ here. So we're going to take a couple trades. We got 2 contracts now. Just looking for some type of edge here. You know, just a couple contracts. We might add more to it too. So we're up a little bit. I'm going to add some to this now since we're green on it. I'll take 4 contracts now. See if I can get some good stuff in. We're up small. We just took half of it off, locked in that profit. See if we can get the rest up. We got 2 contracts left. Look at Morgan Stanley up though. Yeah, so the chip market's big. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about it. All right, so we're up a little bit on this last trade. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and sell another piece here at the top. Go to get out the rest there. So not a bad little trade. We just made 25 bucks or so on that trade. We'll see if we can grind up some more. So yeah, so companies like nvda, AMD, and Intel are going to report their earnings. I think nvida is a little bit late, but the upcoming earnings reports for chip stocks are super anticipated. Companies have been critical plays in the market for the last several years, really. Has to do with AI, cloud computing, automotive technology, consumer electronics. This earnings season will give investors and analysts big insight into the health of a lot of these semiconductor companies and how they are navigating the challenges of, you know, the current chip market. There's a lot of things that we can talk about here. The first one is like demand. Companies nvida, AMD, Intel are going to report how much demand they're seeing for AI related chips, and that's a big thing. That's a big like nuance of this earnings season, especially those designed for training large AI models. NVIDIA in particular has been leading this with its GPUs, which are essential for AI computing. Investors are going to be seeing if demand is sustaining or growing, or if it's declining or losing steam. You know, we have a lot of interest in consumer electronics and PC demand. So consumer electronics segments, laptops, smartphones, has faced softer demand compared to the pandemic years. Companies like Intel and AMD, which supplied chips to these, will discuss how they're managing inventory levels. We also want to look at automotive and industrial demand for these chips. So chip companies like QCOM, Texas Instruments, NXP Semiconductors, they provide chips for the automotive sector, have benefited from big AI, from smart cars, EVs, autonomous driving. There's strong demand for automakers for chips to power sensors, cameras, communication systems, and so analysts are going to be looking for updates on them. There's a lot of stuff about like supply chain problems and stuff. The semiconductor industry remains vulnerable to supply chain disruptions like we saw in 2020. Additionally, geopolitical tensions, specifically between the US and China, continue to be a big point of concern. Restrictions on tech transfers to overseas could affect companies like NVIDIA. I know they had one of the reasons that NVIDIA dropped yesterday, I think it was because they said that they might be a little bit more abrasive of the chip ban overseas for companies like NVIDIA, and that's one of the big reasons NVIDIA dropped so much. You know, NVIDIA was at almost 140s, around lifetime highs on the 15th, so yesterday it dropped all the way down to 120s because of that news, really specifically, that there might be a little bit more there might be a little bit more accepting of these chip bans that people are worried about. And so, you know, NVIDIA has big, significant sales exposure to China, and so that's like a big story. Investors are going to want to hear about strategies to mitigate some of those risks, I think. So chip makers like Taiwan Semiconductors tomorrow, Samsung and Intel have been pouring billions into expanding their manufacturing capacity, including advanced 5nm and 3nm chip production. Investors are going to look how these investments are expected to pay off, updates on timeline for production. That's what you want to pay attention to specifically for tomorrow, especially as competition to produce smaller, more efficient chips heats up. And so a lot of stuff about inventory and pricing. So fluctuations in demand, some semiconductors company adjusting production and managing inventories. Earnings reports may provide insight into how companies are balancing supply and demand there. Gross margins are a factor. Also, look at oil. RIP. Oil just popped up. The market's kind of slow, but look at oil on the bottom right chart. Oil futures. Look at oil pop up. It's at 70.6 here, chat. 70.6. If we put up oil on Top Step X here. Yeah, so here's oil. Look at oil rip. So oil popping up some. We're watching it as well. I've noticed some of my indicators pay like they do pretty well with oil predictions. Semiconductor companies typically report strong gross margins, but fluctuations in input cost, manufacturing capacity, and pricing could affect probabilities. A lot of these companies have to do with a lot of the symbols in focus for AI are NVIDIA, obviously AMD, obviously Intel has seen some really weak, price action over the last year or so. Down to 22s, at least is holding over 20. QCOM, which is AI and performance markets, chips and automobiles and stuff. TSM, capacity updates and outlook on global demand, Texas Instruments, industrial and automotive segments. So it's going to be a big thing that we're paying attention to today, chat. Yeah, we're watching oil. I got to wait for some type of symbol to show up, though. We're watching oil. I'm watching gold, too. Yeah, I might trade some gold futures. Yeah, so we might trade some gold futures. I'm gonna short one here. Gold is very volatile, though. I should have maybe traded micro contracts here, but we just shorted one piece of gold here. We'll put gold up. So we're in gold short. We'll see if it treats me well. Yeah, I saw the DRUG run. Alright, so we're up a little bit here. We'll see if this holds. Hey, bud. How you doing today, man? Okay. Alright, so we're up a little bit in our gold position. We got a nice little cushion. We're gonna go ahead and cut that. So we just made 50 bucks there. We took the oil trade, not too shabby. Shorting oil here. Not too bad. You know, and again, I gotta be honest, I got one of the signals on my gold trade here. It probably is too late, so I'm definitely not telling anybody to take it. But these are why my symbols, like some of these alerts are powerful, you know. And look at that breakdown we got from it, so not too shabby. Yeah. Is it free dress day, bud? All right, look at gold break down. So yeah, we were right about that short. Look at the breakdown in gold here. So we were correct. We got some pop-ups here in oil, breakdowns in gold. Nvidia is all right. Russell started to get overextended. Yeah, I saw ASML. ASML down big yesterday. I wonder if it's time to buy it up though. So like, look at ASML here. Can y'all hear the music? Look at ASML down big. Was this earnings? I'm assuming this is earnings yesterday driving ASML down. Yeah, y'all slap the like button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Thanks so much. Faintly. Okay, here, I'll turn it up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Burge, it's just like, you know, and again, I talked about this before, so like sometimes I'll isolate a time frame. Like when I said that, like people get so emotional, right? And that's the only thing I can really dub it as is emotion, you know? So if I say, hey, gold, if I up here say, hey, gold is breaking down, and then gold does this, right? If you are really emotional, say you're long in gold, that might make you, even though that's exactly what happened, like gold broke down some. Like it's all relative to time frame. And so me saying gold broke down doesn't mean that it's going to continue to go down, you know? But that's all I'm describing. I'm describing very, very short-term price action on gold. And so if you're long on gold, again, don't get emotional about it. It's just like, we could always take it out of context. I could say, here's the easiest way to put it. I could put the SPY up here and say, hey, if I look at the time frame of yesterday, I could say, hey guys, the SPY broke down a little bit. And you could say, nah, guys, and you could zoom out a little bit and say, nah, the SPY is up since the 11th. And I could say, nah, guys, if I put an hourly chart up, you know, or something, let me see. If I put a daily chart up and look at the previous highs at 585, maybe that's not the best example. Point is, I could say, no, we're bearish. And then I could zoom out and isolate a time frame and say, hey, no, we're bullish. Like I could always find a different time frame. But the point remains, I'm talking about very short-term price action. And if you're long on gold, again, don't get emotional. It's okay. I'm not saying gold's going to keep going down. I'm just saying gold broke down a little bit from up here, and it continues to fall. So I'm not going to say I was right, but, this is why definitive statements are bad. Like telling somebody this is absolutely going to happen, especially in terms of short-term price action, is usually indicative of like rookie mentality, And something I noticed is that the people who are the loudest are usually, emotional damage. Yeah. Look, all I'm saying is like we can always isolate a time frame. If gold's doing this and you're saying gold is not going down or breaking down, then I don't know what to say. Banks are sending out good news. Yeah, banks did fairly well. Bank earnings did okay. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley this morning. Morgan Stanley's up to 116s. All of it's looking pretty good. What does your indicator say about oil right now? It doesn't say anything about oil. I have to just wait for... Like, I can show you guys the indicator here. Like, here's oil. But I'm not telling you to buy it. I definitely don't want you guys to buy it. But, like, it's not saying anything right now. The indicator worked really, really well up here. So you can kind of see it called this top, broke down, called this bottom, broke up, called this top, broke down, and now it's kind of moving up a little bit, and so it's just kind of in no man's land right now. So we're just kind of sitting around waiting for something to show up. I'm looking at some commodities more so this morning. And again, the reason we shorted gold where we did was because of this right here. So like, look, we noticed this. So again, you can kind of see how accurate it is. Here's gold, boom. There's gold, bounce. Here's gold up here, boom. So you can kind of see what's going on there. All right, so we do have import-export data in about 8 minutes. Import-export data in 8 minutes or so. Lagarde is speaking today also. Look at this big run back up. I'm gonna try micro contracts of gold. I don't know how to really play it like that. We'll take 3 contracts, micro contracts of gold, maybe 4. I definitely don't want the full size of a full contract of gold. And again, our last trade we made $50. We made about $20 or $30 before that. So we're moving up a little bit. We're down now. I don't know what I want to do here. I guess we'll chill. I wonder what our email is. We're trying to take a longer term trade and just let this work. We do kind of look like we're in an upward trend though. Yeah, we're shorting. We're down like 35 bucks in gold. I don't want to hold this forever though. Maybe I'm just wrong, you know, which I'll probably cut it. Yeah, we'll get out of that one. I'm not really super experienced trading gold, in all honesty. And so I'm kind of like, I know you could trade crypto futures on Top Step, I think, right? In your highly valued opinion, what do you expect of tariffs on the world economy? I mean, they restrict trade, obviously. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like getting out there was the right move. That would have been bad holding through this. Yeah, I mean, when I said it, gold was breaking down, though. So, like, gold was doing this when I said it, and I was just describing what's going on. I wasn't predicting things. This trade I was definitely wrong on where it ripped back up, but, like, it doesn't mean gold wasn't breaking down here. I was just wrong on the second trade, which is normal. It's early in pre-market. I'm going to be wrong about stuff. That's okay, you know. Tesla at 221. So, we'll see if Tesla goes back up some. The Robotaxi event is over. They're supposed to be selling Optimus robots for 20 to 30,000 each. And really what I want to see is I'm going to be paying attention to my indicators a lot today. Yeah, right now we're really just in kind of a range. Okay, WordPress smokes crack, man. That's basically what it's doing. Yeah, we're just playing around this morning. Now we're at the top of the range for gold. I'm curious to what it's going to see. I'm going to put the NASDAQ up now. So we got the NASDAQ breaking down some here. NASDAQ's been in this little sideways trend. Like, look. I'm going to try to make this box kind of small. Put it over there. Like that. What was this thing called? Extended line? Yeah. NASDAQ's been in this little mini trend for a minute now too. Let's see if I can fix the angle. Yeah. This is the short-term trend that I see on the NASDAQ. We'll see if it breaks above it or below it, but that's what I see now. I might be wrong. Who knows what it's going to freaking do. It's a 1-minute chart too, so variance is definitely possible. Hey, what's up, Frostbait? So we are following this little mini trend. So we did follow that trend pretty tight. Oil is still moving up. Gold coming back down too, still in that kind of boring range. Let's see, is WordPress gonna let me log in now? Let's try it. There we go, it did. Yeah, so we're still in that trend, honestly. The trend looks exactly the same. Yeah, I'm trying to look at something, dude. It's kind of looking around. I know I'm supposed to be able to. Ah, this is old. Okay, gotta log out here. Yeah, so we're still in this range. We don't really have any big news stories coming out today either, I don't think. What's up, South? Data has no impact. Yeah, so this data was insignificant, just to put this in perspective. Like, we had the 8:30 report, my bad. Maybe I should have covered it. But we just don't really have much going on. We had import-export prices mostly came in more negative than expected. Import price data came in at -0.4 versus -0.3. Export came in at -0.7 versus -0.4. It's all relatively insignificant. Like, nothing's really going on here, to be honest. Kind of boring. Not a lot of good price action here. And import-export data was relatively insignificant. Like, it doesn't even show up on a lot of people's reports. Morgan Stanley covering some stuff now too. But yeah, here's this one. Like, we'll put it up on screen, but it's just not really, like I said, we're covering it, but the data's pretty light until tomorrow. Tomorrow we got some stuff going on, but today, another boring day. We'll get ready to day trade a little bit later. Yeah, I'm wondering if at the end of this month when payroll data comes out, like we have GDP data and PCE data dropping in 2 weeks from now, right? Let me see. Yeah, so here's the import-export data. There we go. This is mine. Okay. Let me see. So still in this range. I'm going to draw this candle here and wait. We got the breakdown here. I might start to buy this up on the NASDAQ. This is the regular NASDAQ. I want to trade the micro NASDAQ, but I can keep the regular one up, I guess. Yeah. So we're going to start buying up the bottom of this range here. See if we can get some type of bounce play. So far, so good. We will add to it if we get into the green, looking to just kind of move back up and retest some levels. Now we're flat. Now we're down a little bit. I don't want to add to it because we're kind of at the bottom of the range. I do see oil pushing up a little bit more. No, that's gold. Let me check the chat. Do you have an option on Palantir with earnings approaching 11.6? My theory is price increase to 55, maybe even 60. All right, so we're up a little bit here. We'll wait. Yeah. We're gonna ban you or put you in timeout. Just too negative, man. Like, listen, it's really easy to critique after the fact. And so, you know, especially like, dude, I'm not even claiming to be a good trader. We're just out here poking around and stuff. But just being so desperate to critique others, just not a good look, brother. Not a good look, man. Good luck to you, sir. Anyways. All right, so we're green on the trade. We'll see if we get anywhere with it. Yeah, I mean, again, you always realize, like, the biggest haters, right? Like, the biggest people who are negative like that are usually people who have tried to do what I'm doing, like, on YouTube, and failed at it, right? So if you look at the biggest haters, the people with the biggest chip on their shoulder, the people who are usually, like, the most toxic, it's usually people who have, like, tried to stream. Like, I'm taking tiny size here. I'm taking 2 micro contracts. Who cares what happens? But usually the biggest haters are the ones that have like tried to create like an audience and like failed at it. And so they just like misery loves company. They're mad about it. And so they're just desperately looking for things to be upset with. And, you know, it's fine. You know, it is what it is. I wish them the best. Yeah, most people come here for news. John, do you support censorship? I mean, it depends on what it is, right? Like people have this whole thing of like freedom, you know, but private businesses can do whatever the heck they want to do, right? Like that's normal, like, you know, so it depends, right? It definitely depends. Yeah, trading on YouTube's tough. Music's too loud? Okay, gotcha. See, I hear people be like, the music's too, they say the music's too quiet. They'll say the music's too loud. Yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into politics at all. I just avoid it, really. Yeah, and it's not that I'm being sensitive. I'm just, like, if somebody's sitting there trying to ruffle feathers, you know, it's just like a logical thing. Like, okay, do I want this person around? Probably not, you know. Hey, thank you, Theory. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't trade it. I don't invest in that one, Gab. Nothing against it necessarily. But it's just I stay away from it. It's too political, in all honesty. Yeah. Keep the smooth jazz going. We try. Honestly, I've got too many playlists at this point. A little bit up and good. Just don't want it to be over your voice. Hey, no, I'm good. What's up, Tobias? Again, I can make fun of my day trading all day. It doesn't matter. I'm mostly economics. And economics are slow right now, so I'm trying to trade, but it's probably a little bit early. I actually do better getting closer to the opening bell, a little bit more closer, and we'll size up a little bit as we get closer to the opening bell anyway. Hey, thank you, Stoned. Top 3 viewers in the world right now. Hey, play a song for the haters. I don't really have a song to play for them, really. ASML's down so much. The question is, do you buy it here? All right, ASML dropped on like pretty big on earnings. And so the question is it time to buy ASML? I don't know. I think it depends. It depends on how long you hold it. ASML is a pretty big market cap company, right? Let me make sure. Can I pull up 2 instances of ChatGPT? I think I can. One of the largest and most important companies in the semiconductor industry. It specializes in producing photolithography machines to use manufactured chips. 270 to 300 billion market cap. So it's not like crazy large. It's not tiny either. Um, as well as like in trades like this, guys, like we're gonna lose sometimes. Some strings in the market, like there's gonna be some weeks where we do horrible, right? And there's gonna be some weeks when we do great. That's the nature of day trading, and people can pretend that they're not like that or that they're somehow different, but it's really, that's the nature of day trading. Like you're gonna lose some weeks. Some weeks are gonna be good weeks. Some weeks are gonna be bad weeks. Some weeks your strategies are gonna be working. Some weeks your strategies are not gonna be working. You know, and so I try to be as honest as I can about all of it. Like my strategy definitely didn't work this morning, but maybe we'll be able to make it back. We should be pretty flat on the day throughout all this. Yeah, we're basically flat on the day throughout all these trades. I'm gonna cut this trade, by the way, though. We're definitely losing on this trade, so I'm gonna get out of this trade. But we're still pretty flat on the day. Just kind of a bad little string of trades overall at the last couple, and that's all right. Never saw Jake Paul do insider boxing. Never saw him fight a heavyweight. Yeah, I mean, he's going to win, though. So, Tyson's not going to win, unfortunately. I hope he does, right? I genuinely wish Tyson would win. Like, I want Tyson to win. I really do. But I think it's not very probable he does. And again, if you want to check out Top Step with me, the beautiful part about Top Step is that if I was using my own money, I would be down much more. The beautiful part about Top Step, and I went on Top Step TV yesterday, it was fun. The beautiful part about Top Step is that it limits your risk. They give you a demo. They test your skill with the demo. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail it, you only lose what you pay for it. And so it limits your risk. Most day traders lose, regardless of all the apparent millionaire genius savant prodigies on the internet here. Most day traders lose, right? And if you're honest about it, I can respect it. And so in that regard, it makes no sense, especially if you're new, to fund your own account and lose thousands of dollars, most likely, right? It makes much more sense to try a funded account program. If you lose, the base one on Top Step's $49. It's not the end of the world. You can live to fight another day. But if you pass it, you still get a 90% split, which is similar to funding it yourself. And there's no PDT in futures. So you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ. This is basically the QQQ price action. If you look at the QQQ and you look at the price action for it versus what I'm trading, that's what I'm trading today. We can zoom in a little bit. This is the range that I have drawn on the chart right here. This is a 5-minute chart, so we'll put a 1-minute chart up. So this is the range that we've drawn on the chart right here. And I still think my long makes sense because we're approaching that previous closing price, but I can day trade the futures contract on the left side, no PDT rule. And the beautiful part about Top Step is that there's literally no commissions, 74 cents in fees per trade, 0 commissions. You can take micro contracts like I am, trade small, and if you lose, you're not going to rack up tons and tons of commissions. And I think that makes perfect sense. You know, they pay out over $40 million to their traders, and it's just a great way to limit your risk. Perfect middle ground, teaching you how to trade under pressure, but not too much pressure. Not the pressure of risking like $5,000 or $6,000. So I think that makes perfect sense. But if you want to check them out, here's the link. Understand, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Always got to make your own assessment. Trade responsibly. And you can check them out right there. Crazy week, lots of ups and downs, almost halfway to getting, yeah, good luck. And you guys got to understand, I don't necessarily need to get funded on Top Step, right? Like I play around on it, but you know, my TOS account most of the years had over 100,000 in it, like liquid. It doesn't really need funding anywhere, you know. But I still think Top Step's incredibly valuable, incredibly valuable. Yeah, no, I already did turbulence. So again, if you read this, CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, you know, all that other good stuff. So yeah, we disclose it. We trade stocks on the stream too, and so we do a little bit of both. Hey, congrats, Systematic. Sticking with day trading stocks for now, and we'll paper trade futures to keep learning. Yeah, that's the right way, you know. I took your gold short, by the way, for fun. Well, I don't know if it's very fun now. See, I would have made money on that trade too. Look, so our trend diagram was right. Oil is the one that's been pushing up most. So that one's interesting too. Yeah, so we did get that big upward move here. Look at that. So we were correct about that. I'm gonna cut the trend line here and maybe draw a different one. Yeah. So this was the original trend. It kind of broke out of it. I think it was a little tighter than this, actually. I think it was about right here. Yeah, so it did kind of break out of that trend. The question is, where does it go now? Does it fake out and go down, or what does it do? Hey, what's up, Sean? Settlement long. Can you check gold? Yeah, I'm looking at gold. Dealing with Comcast issues? Yeah, I hate Comcast. John, do you think it's a good idea to be defensive at the moment with market at highs? I don't think it's a bad idea to be defensive. I think that, like, in terms of investing specifically, which is kind of more my realm, yeah, we were right about our direction too. My main problem with day trading comes in managing the trade. And so if you guys remember, like, we were buying it up. Like, look at my entry price here for the NASDAQ and the micro NASDAQ. We were entering it at 350. So we were entering it here. Now maybe a little bit over that. Let's see. Yeah, so we were entering this thing here. Look at that. So we were entering right at 350 here. So we would have made money on this thing. We just got pushed down a little bit before we went up. But that's where our entry was. But no, I think markets around highs. I think the election is looming, and that's what's got a lot of people on guard is the election. The election's coming out on November 5th. And that has a lot of broad implications around everything. And so I think people and traders, investors in general are going to be more apprehensive leading into that. Is what I think. Hey, thank you, chat. Appreciate the love. Yeah, it might be a boring time for my channel until we get some economic data coming out. Which is usually like what we do here on the channel. It's a good niche, right? It's not as good as like day trading where you get freaking way more viewers, but I like my niche, and it's more reflective of how I generally am, where I'm looking at economic data, trying to gauge the economy and long-term markets. Yeah, I don't know about ASML conference. We'll see. It's possible. It's a tough market though. Market not really synced. Yeah. I do kind of want to short this, so I guess I'll try to. We'll take some size here. I'm shorting it. We have this resistance level here. We also have the Q, which is what the NASDAQ is looking at, right around the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price level. Good morning. The channel is not boring. It's helpful. We try to make it not boring, but sometimes it's boring, and that's okay. Like I said, sometimes I take trades to give me something to do, like on days like today when there's just nothing going on. Tomorrow will be a little bit better. Tomorrow we have retail sales data and stuff, so we have some stuff to potentially cover tomorrow. But yeah. Nice. We're up a little bit on this trade. Let's see if we break down some more. You know, I do like the fact that the Q's right under the 200 EMA. That's like a milestone level that might push it down some. The problems are my fills here, not. Tesla completely flat leading up to a lot of stuff too. There we go. All right, so we took half that off. Took a little bit more off. Just made 20 bucks. We'll hold the rest to see what happens on the last piece. So we did break down a little bit more. All right, so made $25, $30 back. Again, we're kind of flat on the day. We're going back and forth. Hopefully we'll get a better edge leading into the open. Let me put some of this other stuff up here. Yeah, tomorrow retail sales data expected at 0.3%, core retail sales expected at 0.1%, jobless claims expected at 260K, and I think with the economy as heated up as it's been, that's a really relevant report. That's a really important report you probably want to pay attention to, just based off of, like, the payroll report a couple weeks ago showed a really heated up market. Like, it showed a really heated up landscape of the economy. Like, jobs data was really strong. Payroll data came in like 80 or 90% better than expected, and that kind of shocked a lot of people, especially like it's an election year. People are super biased in that regard, telling everybody how weak everything is. And it's mostly because they want the other person to get elected, right? So how do you get your person elected? You talk about how weak it is. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of that. But payroll numbers definitely shocked people, and that had a ripple effect on everything else. And so leading into that, like, job numbers with jobless claims tomorrow are very relevant. Now, I don't know how much they're going to move stuff, but it's very relevant. And the market really, if you take a peek at it over the past couple weeks, it's been doing well. It's been doing well, but the SPY itself has been choppy. Let's see how long. Here, maybe it's the Q. Yeah, the Q's been pretty much flat since September. Right, so here's September 26th. You can kind of see the price action since then has been down, up, down. Like, we're slightly green on it. We got maybe like a trend line there, but it hasn't gone much. The SPY's been breaking lifetime highs too. I don't think the Q has. I come to your channel for quick, concise finance information, not advice. I don't even know what advice is. No, I appreciate it. It's all good. No, man, my channel's grown a lot. Like, I started off in penny stocks, and we kind of go from, we went from day trading penny stocks when I first got started to day trading the SPY directly, and then that led us to day trading futures, and then from futures we started covering economic reports, and then from economic reports we started watching the economy, and that was kind of the growth of it. When we first got started, we would get like 100 people, and I would be super happy about 100 people. 100 people is hard to get. Like, people have this weird, crazy, like, people watch people like Logan Paul and all those guys, and like they have this misconception about they have this misconception that, like, you have to have millions and millions of views to make money from social media. This channel makes, I'm not going to be too specific, but it makes over $150,000 a year in revenue for sure. And usually my normal streams might get 300, 400, 500 people, right? But the difference is, like, what compensates for that is like the big streams we do, like FOMC meetings or Jerome Powell meetings or like big earnings reports. They'll get 40, 50, 60,000 views. And so the big streams compensate for the small streams. And unfortunately, the next week and a half are pretty freaking slow. Like, we just don't have much going on. But we're trying to make it, especially with the election aspect of it. I do think everybody's more apprehensive based off of the election looming. The election looming, as well as the week coming out, the week of the last week of October. I think it's the week of the 28th. that week everything's consolidated. Oh, my bad. That week everything's consolidated together. And so we have every major economic report outside of CPI and PPI dropping 1 week specifically, like one specific week. And that includes, like, let me see if I can find a list of it again. I'm pretty sure it includes the JOLTS report as well, which is freaking crazy because that's every major economic report consolidated to 1 week. Yeah, so we got Tuesday of that week on the 29th. We've got the JOLTS report, the Case-Shiller House Price Index, CP Consumer Confidence data, right? Wednesday, we've got non-farm payrolls, or we have non-farm employment and GDP data on Wednesday. So prelim payroll numbers and GDP. Thursday, we got PCE data, Chicago PMI data, and then Friday we have non-farm payrolls, unemployment, and ISM PMI data. So like that's a weird week, man, where we just have a bunch of stuff consolidated. Friday, November 1st is going to be a super busy day, and that's only 4 days ahead of this election coming out. And so I'm wondering the implications of all this stuff. So like the Fed rate decision is on the 7th of next month, right? So we're not going to do any rate decisions leading up to the election prior to the election, right? The rate decision is going to happen a couple days after the decision. But on November 1st, we have a lot of really, really, really big economic gauges that are relevant and you should pay attention to, right? We have specifically non-farm payrolls, which is jobs, right? The last payroll report, again, came in 80% more than expected, shocked market, shocked everybody. Definitely influenced the rate expectations for November 7th. Another report like that drops a week before the election, or a week before the rate decision, non-farm payroll data, and before the election in general, which will have implications on the election as well. Unemployment, right? So unemployment drops. It's expected at 4.1% so far, but that's subject to change. But obviously, unemployment rate across the U.S. is incredibly relevant, important. You want to pay attention to that. And then ISM manufacturing PMI. ISM is the Institute of Supply Management. PMI is the Purchasing Managers Index. It's basically strength or weakness in manufacturing. The greater the number, over 50, the more expansion in manufacturing. If it's below 50, it means a contraction in the manufacturing sector, and it's expected to come in lower than 50. So they're expecting manufacturing to contract a little bit. All of those reports coming in same day are going to be really, really volatile and influential over markets. So you just want to be careful on stuff like this because that week's incredibly busy, What do you get most? Yeah, advertising, sponsors, ad revenue from YouTube. You know. The channel here, this channel averages about 300,000 viewers a month or so, like 300,000 hits a month. And so when you, even if it doesn't seem like a lot with each individual stream, when you get that many viewers monthly, I know it's not Logan Paul level, and that's what people have to understand, especially in the finance niche. You have to think about, like, you got to think about who's watching. People who watch finance channels are more valuable than people that watch Logan Paul, for lack of a better word. And so the amount that I make per viewer is going to be much higher in finance versus any other niche anywhere, really. And so, you know, and that's the big difference that people have to understand. And like I could always not stream these regular streams and like maybe instead focus on like only streaming the big streams, and maybe there's some validity in that too. But I try to get everything. All right, look at that big rip up though. So we did have a big move up. Let me see if I can check. Is this... So 180 Life Science expects to launch Plan B2C casino operations and establish in high growth markets where iGaming is gaining traction. Yeah, some people are talking about AT&F. I don't know what AT&F is. 180 Life Sciences. Okay, this is what it is. So they're talking about some type of casino. Look at the run, up to almost $12 a share for AT&F. That's crazy. It's a big move. Look at the squeeze on AT&F. I know we've had a few people mention this as well. All right, I'm gonna have to start shorting this now, I think, leading into the opening bell in 20 something minutes. I just think we've got enough range that we can probably target it. And like I said, guys, who knows what's gonna happen? Yeah, for sure. Wistful. Hey, I appreciate it. That's what we try to do. Yeah, I'm looking at other stuff to cover, but yeah, we're short. I'm gonna try adding another micro contract to this. Problem is that once we get into the green, we gotta kind of take our profit off quick. There we go. And then leave the rest. Look at AT&F breaking highs again. That's a weird move, man. I don't really watch penny stocks anymore, though. I really don't. Like, I don't watch penny stocks at all. You see nvda. Yeah, nvda breaking highs again up to 133.50s. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this and just wait. I don't want to short the market whenever nvda is breaking lifetime highs. You know. You guys ready for look at AT&F break highs again. Look at nvda, guys. nvda up to 133.50s. Look at AT&F, man. Again, I don't really trade penny stocks anymore, but this thing is going crazy. Got to be really low float. All right. Steven Seagal. I'm watching this video of Steven Seagal try to show Alex Pereira, or Pereira. I'm just gonna say Pereira because I can't pronounce it like that. Steven Seagal tried to show him how to punch. What a joke, man. Like, stop it, Steven. Like, what's wrong with your hair, by the way? Your hair looks a little off. Steven Seagal. Like, I get it, Steven's supposed to be a master in Aikido, but it's just total freaking nonsense. So we did push up again. It looks like me getting out of that short was the right move. Nvidia's still ripping up, guys. Still breaking highs. Let's see if it does anything now. Wait, where did my... There it goes. It's not really a playlist update. Like, I've had this playlist for so freaking long. Steven didn't accept George Foreman's invite to use Aikido while he used boxing. Steven Seagal, man. Again, the problem is that there was a period of time in like the 70s and 80s where nonsense martial arts reigned supreme. Where like you can make up stuff like Kung Fu or like Aikido. And because there was no real like true way to test it like there is now with MMA and martial arts, people would just eat it up. They would just love it. They would just think that you could be a ninja and all this different stuff. And one of the benefits of like the UFC's rise and MMA's rise and you know, fighting like that is that you could test which martial arts were legit and which martial arts were total freaking nonsense. And unfortunately, Aikido, total freaking nonsense. Kung Fu, total freaking nonsense, you know. A lot of martial arts that you might hear, you think they're cool, but they're not. They're just not. I listen to you every day. Yeah, I know, it's all good. I appreciate the support. Yeah, so to put it into perspective, I have a playlist that I've built for years. Like, I've built this playlist for years and years and years. And so sometimes what I'll do, like I did this morning, is I'll just kind of scroll down. Look at NVIDIA run. All right, we're going to short again. We're only going to take 2 contracts now just because it's in the middle of a run. We made a good little string of shorts here, but they're tiny little baby trades. Yeah, anyone with 1 year boxing and a year of wrestling can beat master. Can beat a master in Kung Fu, 100%, because Kung Fu is mostly nonsense. Aikido actually works. A lot of fighters use some Aikido techniques. Like what? Name them. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is, like, I'll put it this way, okay? When I'm rolling in BJJ, right? If I get a brown belt, like, they can literally get a full-on wrist lock in. They can take my wrist, and they can literally bend it all the way this way, you know? And I'm still not tapping, because it's not that much pressure. Like, your wrist is actually pretty resilient, in all honesty, right? And so a lot of these Aikido moves where they're like taking your wrist and they're doing all this stuff, like, bro, like anybody with like a strong wrist is just going to turn out of that, spin out of that. It's not going to work. It's just not, right? And then you get deeper into the like, oh, Aikido, and they're talking about like eye pokes and stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, it's kind of like Krav Maga. Like Krav Maga works and it's legit. But some of it is like, oh, we'll poke them in the eye. It's like, well, duh. Of course you poke them in the eye. I don't need to go spend $50 a lesson on that. You know, that's very human nature like. And so I don't know. I just think, I don't know. Coming from the spazziest BJJ white belt, 2-stripe white belt in the world, you know, Aikido doesn't work very well most of the time. Maybe old Aikido works, but not the modern stuff. Yeah, it's all good, 17. Yeah, it's good, you know. Apple still up. Yeah, Apple up a shocking amount. Getting close to lifetime highs, right? It got up to 237. It kind of pulled back yesterday. But if you put a longer term chart on Apple, it's surprising how much it's up. Here's lifetime highs yesterday. So Apple broke lifetime highs. I didn't even see that. AT&F still pushing up almost at 20. Yeah, almost up to 20. Super Micro is ripping. Is it really? Where's Super Micro been? It's still trying to go up. It got up to almost $50. That's pretty good. The real calls at 50 or said, yeah, I mean, I just don't trust it. I can't trust it enough to really get involved with it, I think it's just too risky. Low float, super volatile microchip stock just doesn't seem like for me. Microchips go up, down big amounts. So I just don't want to get stuck holding that thing when it turns, if it turns. I'm not saying it's going to turn, just if it turns. I'm not really trying to get stuck in it. People keep mentioning gold. Gold hasn't really moved that much. Like, it's up a little bit, but it's mostly been putting in these tops up here for the last couple hours. It's not necessarily bad here. Like, look. You know, it's got an upward trend for sure. Testing highs of the day, but nice little trend for gold, I guess. Like, look, here's the trend. On the 5-minute chart, the trend's nice. All right, we got 12 minutes chat. I'm still shorting this. We've done pretty good at calling these tops out. We just have to, if we're wrong in these type of trades, we just have to be very light and cut it if we're wrong. Here we go. All right, so we're out. We made another 20, 15, 20 bucks. I'll take it. I really like Gold Bar to keep it trade virtually. What's your opinion on why healthcare pulled back yesterday? Wasn't it United Health earnings? Yeah, so UNH earnings. United Health Group dipped. It's one of the biggest healthcare stocks. It was at 608 prior to the earnings report on the 14th. Early yesterday morning, it dropped from 600 all the way down to 540s, and that pulled back the entire healthcare sector for UNH, and that's what happened. Yeah, we got the Robinhood conference, right? It's like the Robinhood conference. Robinhood stock's done a lot as well. Microvision secures a $75 million for LiDAR market expansion. So Microvision bolstered its financial footing by securing a $25 million capital commitment. Moves the company to explore new revenue opportunities. So yeah, big contract for Microvision. MVIS. Man, MVIS, dude, how long has it been since I've seen this symbol? People used to love this position. And look at that. We were correct about the move on the NASDAQ as well. Right, this is what I noticed, and this is something I talked about on Top Step TV yesterday. If the pattern's too obvious, I trust it less, right? And we might have people kind of squint at me when I say this, but it's true. Like, look, if the pattern's too obvious, right? We have this pattern. And so what's the, right here, what are most people going to think is going to happen? Most people are going to think it's going to continue in the big bouncing pattern like it's been doing, right? But that's too predictable almost. And so what happens is that when that's wrong, you get these big flushes. Why? Because people get stopped out. People that bet on this continuation move, the really obvious prediction, they get stopped out. And so they end up selling, and that's when we get these big dumps back down. You know, I didn't really take advantage of that. I more so just took advantage of the bottom end of that. But the point remains. If the pattern's too obvious, I'm skeptical. Could y'all see anything I just said, or was my big dumb face blocking it? Could y'all see anything I just said, or do I need to repeat it? Was I blocking it? All right, guys, we got 9 minutes. You seen it? Okay, good. All right, good. Yeah, I just want to make sure. All right, we're going to buy this dip up now. Take 4 contracts here. We've gotten the breakdown now. I just want to see if we can get the green action here. A little bit more off. Got terrible fills on that. Didn't really get good fills here. I'll hold the rest, but not good fills in the rest. Part of me thinks, okay, well, I'm green. I could add to it maybe, but we're gonna get it. I just didn't get good fills on that one. I wanted the little short-term bounce play. Hey, look at that. We got out just in time there. That's nice, I guess. Yeah, AT&F's crazy. Again, it's too volatile for me. When it starts to pull back, it's going to pull back massively, and I don't know when that's going to be. It could rip up to 100 for all I know. Prior to that, again, not an investment professional. Don't copy me. But when it starts to break down, it's going to break down big, and that's the risk of this. Like, you can try to pick up pennies in front of a train track and jump on AT&F, but if you get caught when the train comes, then you could just get destroyed taking positions like this. So just be careful. To quote Kid Cudi, you know, sometimes what shines isn't always gold, and you gotta avoid that stuff sometimes because the risk is just super, super heavy. All right, so we're moving up some. Can you ask AI to save its history so you can use it later now? Has it gotten that good? We got 5 minutes, chat. 5 minutes. Let me put it in sub-only mode. I don't think I have yet. Yeah. Oh, no, we are in sub-only mode. Okay, cool. What am I up or down today? We got a good little string. Okay, yeah, we're flat. That's nice. Yeah, so it said to save my info. All right. Hey, what's up, Blaze? You think big pullback on open? I don't know, man. When we look at the market overall leading into the opening bell here, if I put up like a longer term chart, yeah, I should put that right there. When I put up a longer term chart here, like a 15-minute chart, here's the range, and this big support level has been there for so long, you know. One other thing I was talking about on Top Step TV when I was there is I'm trying to see what time frame this is. So 8. Okay, so this is actually my time. Okay, good. That must have been the choppy range. Yeah, one of the things I talked about is that when we broke down, oh wait, this is a, yeah, okay. Yeah, I said when we broke down, if we break down and then retrace back up, there might be a good long play. And so that was like right here. Let me see. Y'all can't see this. Let me show you. So what that was is that was right here. One of the things I was talking about was that if we break down and then retrace back up, it might be a good long. And so here's the breakdown and then the retracement back up, and it went right back up to that level, you know. And really we've been still in that range since then. This bottom part of the chart at 12 or at 300, 335s makes a lot of sense, but I think we just gotta sit tight waiting for it. You can kind of see the range right there. I'll put a 1-minute chart up so we can catch the open, but I still think it's very choppy and sideways, so y'all just be careful. I'm gonna put nvda up as well. nvidia's bouncing back too, and I think that might drag the market back up too. We'll put a 5-minute chart up. Why do you always go short on everything? I usually go a little bit of both. Like, I go long for sure. It's not, I definitely don't just go short. Anybody that watches the stream knows, like, I'll go long as well. Apple is down tons. Well, didn't Apple break lifetime highs? What's a futures trading platform closest to Webull? I don't know. I like Top Step X, but futures are just a different thing, you know. And again, Top Step's a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased. But Top Step X has 0 commissions, and so if you get funded on Top Step, there's 0 commissions on Top Step X, and that's a powerful thing. You know, it's one of the most powerful things in funding right now, in my opinion. Is no commission aspect of Top Step X. All right, guys, we got less than a minute. Breaking down a little bit before the opening bell. We got 45 seconds. 45 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you subscribe as well, chat. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Look at the breakdown happening. nvidia's up there. All right, here's the opening bell, chat. Be ready. There's the opening bell. Let's see if we do anything. We got a flush. Tesla popping. All right, we're gonna try to day trade here. The only thing I wish we had here. Trying to make this thing smaller, but all right, look at that breakdown here. Again, we're pulling back to a big support level. I can't really buy this now, though. I gotta wait a couple minutes to pass first. Tesla popping. Look at this big flush break. Look at that dump. It's such a big dip at the open, though, chat. Part of me wants to buy this dip. I'm gonna try buying one contract. That's a large dip. It's still pretty early after the opening bell, and it's still kind of risky, but we're just down so much that we can potentially retrace back up fast. But I'm going to keep it one contract minimum. Okay, this is more volatility than I'm used to at the opening bell. Look at this dump. We got out for $20 loss. And again, we're still flat roughly on the day, but look at this drop. I use the 200 EMA usually. Wow, look how much bearish pressure this is. Yeah, this is stopping people out today for sure. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes before we start to take some trades. There's huge volume at the opening bell. Big retracement too. Wow. Gold looking to push up again. Yeah. Put Apple chart up here too. I'm gonna try to buy this dip and maybe add to it if we get some good pressure, but it's very volatile open, so I gotta trade small. We'll add to it. There we go. All right, so we just made our money right back on that last trade. So we made a little $20 buying the retracement back up. I'm gonna put up the SPA here. I'm gonna take this off. Look at nvda bounce right at the 200 EMA. This is why I like the 200 EMA. Look at the 200 EMA right there. Look at this big flush down though. Look at that. Wow. Was just about to buy it, but I didn't. I should have. Look at that retracement. If it breaks down some more, we might buy it. Kind of a risky buy here, but we're gonna try it. The good thing about I like buying here is we got a really easy stop level, which is right there, so we're out. Bear pressure coming through. Yeah, maybe I should have held that buy. I think it would have worked. I don't know. I don't see YouTube promoting those, David. You know. Look at the flush down again. nvda coming back down to that 200 EMA, but my hands are kind of off since the open. We're kind of flat since the opening bell. We haven't done too much, but I gotta wait a second at least. Yeah, but what do you mean by that, David? I'm not sure what you mean. Gold? Do you mean like gold subscriptions, or what do you mean? Alright, so we bought the bottom here. The risk is easy here. We're going to add to this since we're in the green already. There we go. We just made another 15 bucks. We're now green since the opening bell, but I do see nvda starting to rip back up. I think that's good. I just need a better entry here for it. I'd stay in the long. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's. I mean, I think strength in gold companies is good for gold, of course, but it's also vice versa. Like gold going up is good for these gold companies, obviously as well. You know, I'm sure a lot of their business model involves something like buying gold whenever it's really cheap, and in turn giving people discounts in a very specific type of way, and then profiting long-term from gold's rise, if that makes sense. All right, so we just did it again. Another little $15. So wait, let me get this straight. Stockopolypse. You're saying what is? What's the symbol? Is it crypto or stocks? John, do you buy the ASML dip? I don't hate the ASML dip. I'm not saying to buy it. I don't know enough about ASML as a company to say it or not, but it's usually what I look for in terms of dips. You just got to be willing to hold it long term, and you're probably going to be fine. But again, ASML is a company that I'm not the most familiar with. ASML has dropped from 874s all the way down to 700, so I'm not the most familiar with this company, so I can't really say yes or no, but it is what I look for. Somehow I just got there. I'm going to buy this again. We got a nice little cushion that we made since the opening bell. I'm going to start to add to these positions, take a larger risk, and kind of risk everything that I've made over the past 10-15 minutes. On this breakdown, I'm going to add to it. We got 4 contracts. Try to get a larger gain in the books today. We got 3 contracts now. We're about flat. We'll add 1 more to this position here, so we can fix our average. Get a little pop up. Oof. You know, we can take a little $50, $60 gain, but we're never going to get anywhere. And so usually what I like to do is I like to build up profit and then take risks with it. And then sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And we're a little bit better now. There we go. I'm going to hurry up and take profit now while I can. All right, so somehow we made money on that trade. We got the rebound there, but it wasn't the big gain that we wanted just because it broke down so much before it rebounded. So it kind of faked me out a little bit before the rip up. We made money, but we could have made more, you know. And again, you can kind of see the list of my trades here. We're doing pretty good accuracy rise, but could have made more, I think. Very choppy market for nvda and other stuff too. And again, if you want to trade on Top Step with me, I'll put the link up. No PDT rule on Top Step X. No commissions on Top Step X. It's one of the most favorable environments for funded traders. And most day traders lose. And so if you fund yourself, you're probably going to lose money. Let's just be honest. Top Step allows you to limit some of that risk. Instead of risking thousands of dollars like most new day traders, you instead risk $49 a month for the base one, a little bit more if you want one of the larger packages, but $49 a month for the base one. They give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K in that 50K demo without losing 2K first and following their rules and conditions, and they're a sponsor of mine, I'm biased, you want to confirm all this stuff with them, but if you could do that, they fund you 50K, 90% split, and they pay out millions of dollars. They paid out over 40 million over the last few years. They fund thousands of traders, and it really is one of the best ways, because once you're funded, there's a 90% split anyway, and so that's similar in that regard to funding yourself. There's just much less risk, and you're still learning how to trade under pressure. Again, there's zero commission on Top Step X. There's no PDT rule in futures. You can day trade short, buy markets, all that good stuff. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. And so if you want to learn to day trade, this is probably a better option than funding yourself, at least for the beginning. You can check out the link right there. Although, again, they are an affiliate or sponsor of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased because of it. But there's the link if you want to check it out. Again, we're sitting around waiting. We don't really have any big economic reports coming out today. There's NVIDIA breaking down. So there's NVIDIA breaking down. I think the obvious direction is short now, but I think if NVIDIA bounces down here again, it might bring the market right back up. Yeah, they're averaging $1 million a day in payouts now, which is crazy. Yeah, let me see. So we're pretty green on the day. I mean, or I don't know. We might not be green. We're flat on the day, actually, but still. You got to watch NVIDIA's action here. NVIDIA's been very, very choppy, very, very flat. I tend to think it's going to actually break down now, so I'm going to short this, actually. I'm going to add to our short that we were right about so far. We got a nice little average. I just took a piece of off. All right, so we're pretty close to green, I think. Yeah, so look, there's the breakdown. Caught it. So again, I use this pattern a lot, and it works the best during the opening bell. But one of the things I say here, right? So if you want to understand why I was able to call that, I said, hey, I think this is going to break down now. The reason I'm able to call it is because we get choppy action most of the morning through NVIDIA, right? Eventually, this sideways range is going to break. And so you got to say, hey, where is it going to break? Which way is it going to break? I think after trending this much, it's much less likely for this to come back up here. I think it's more likely once we break under this VWAP for multiple times in a row, you can start to say, okay, well, the range is probably about to break on the downside eventually. And that's precisely what we got. We broke down major milestone levels, 200 EMA, VWAP. And so that's how I'm able to say right here. Remember, I said this right here. I think we're about to break down. Let me get myself out the way. I said this right here. Hey, I think we're about to break down. And then look at NVIDIA and look at the NASDAQ as it happens. And so very predictable. Again, the key is you got to understand, usually we're not going to stay in a sideways range forever. And so you get this intuition of like, hey, we could break. And that's kind of what it was. Trying to see if I'm green yet. Yeah, so we are effectively green on the day now. We just took a little bitty trade to get us there, but we are effectively green on the day. I'm gonna buy this up. Hopefully it doesn't take away my green on the day. It's kind of a crazy trade on my end, to be honest. Ugh, all that work. Again, I don't mind taking risks once we build up a little bit of room. We should have gone with our own trade direction, I think, here. It's alright. You don't love to see it, guys. You don't love to see it. I mean, I think we could still bounce up, but I don't know if I'm going to let it work. We're almost back up there. I'm going to limit some of this risk. I just took a piece of that off when we were at the top, so that's nice. We're still pretty close to flat. Like, we weren't up much to begin the trade anyway. I just want to see if... Okay, so now we're still technically green on the day. We only lost it. We were actually right about this. Mismanaged the trade, but it's all right. We're still green on the day. I'll take it. Again, a lot of risk could be there. Let me see. It depends on what happens, to be honest. Like, specifically what happens at this level here. If you pull up NVIDIA, I want to show you guys what I'm looking at. NVIDIA right around the previous closing price, like right at this previous close. Yeah, and we were right. We caught the bounce too. I traded a little bit off stream right now. Sometimes, so look, there's the SPY. Here's the trades we got in. I thought we were going to bounce there and we were correct. There's the accuracy today. Yeah. So far so good. Again, if you want to try Top Step with me, here's the link. I'm probably going to bow out for the day. We'll come back tomorrow when we got more exciting stuff going on. Y'all be good. Y'all have a great day. Again, a green day on my end. We were flowing with the market fairly well today versus everything else. We actually started the market open. We had, out of the last 20 trades, we had 3 losing trades, and they were all pretty small at $9, $2.50, and $6.50. $19, $12, $14, $8. Like, so good risk reward today as well as good accuracy. And we had a green day. And we opened the day leading into the opening bell. We were actually down like something. I can't remember how much we were down, but we were down something leading in the opening day. And this is the powerful thing about Top Step is that there's no commissions. Look at the commissions, literally $0. Fees, if I'm trading micro contracts, 74 cents per trade in fees. Tiny amount of fees. I'll be back later. I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Y'all be safe in these markets, chat. Be safe. I'll see you guys later.